Dick Van Dyke made us laugh, sing, and dance our way through some of the most beloved moments in entertainment history. Whether he was the whimsical chimney-sweep Bert in Mary Poppins or the charming Rob Petrie on the Dick Van Dyke Show, he became a household name and a symbol of joy for generations. But behind that ever-present smile and magnetic stage presence, Van Dyke was hiding a painful truth, one that nearly cost him his career, his family, and his life. At the height of his fame in the 1960s, while the world saw a man who had it all, Dick was privately battling alcoholism. The pressures of Hollywood, the weight of public expectations, and unresolved personal struggles led him down a path of self-medication. What began as a way to unwind quietly grew into a full-blown addiction. Unlike many celebrities whose troubles became public scandals, Van Dyke kept his suffering hidden. On screen, he was the epitome of lightheartedness, but off-screen he was drinking daily, consumed by shame, and too afraid to reach out for help. It wasn't until years later, in candid interviews, that Van Dyke shared the extent of his struggles. He admitted that he didn't realize just how deep he'd fallen until his health started to deteriorate and his relationships began to unravel. In his own words, he said, "I was an alcoholic for 25 years. I had to wake up and face it or I was going to die." His wake-up call came in the late 1970s when he finally checked himself into a rehabilitation facility. It marked the beginning of a long, difficult road to recovery. With the unwavering support of his family and a deep determination to reclaim his life, Dick Van Dyke gradually broke free from the grip of addiction. The process was far from easy, but it ultimately allowed him to rediscover the joy and light he had once brought to others so effortlessly. Today, Van Dyke stands not just as an icon of film and television, but as a symbol of resilience and redemption. Well into his 90s, he remains active, upbeat, and unafraid to speak openly about his past. His willingness to share his story has helped destigmatize addiction and show that even those who seem the happiest may be silently struggling. He reminds us that asking for help is not weakness, it's courage. So the next time you watch Mary Poppins or a rerun of The Dick Van Dyke Show, remember that behind the laughter was a man who fought a very real battle and won. His story is a powerful reminder that even in our darkest hours, there is hope. If Dick Van Dyke's journey inspired you, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share this video. And in the comments, let us know your favorite Dick Van Dyke moment, because sometimes the brightest stars shine through the darkest skies.